According to the Cuban authorities, this US-registered speedboat entered Cuban waters and opened fire when it was approached by the Cuban Coast Guard, wounding the captain on board. In the return of fire, 4 people were killed on the speedboat and another 6 wounded, who are now being held at a hospital in Santa Clara. The Cubans say there were guns and explosives on board this vessel and that they've stopped a terrorist plot. Now, US Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who we've just heard, said this was not the US government was not involved. There were no US government personnel on board this ship. Now, interestingly, the last time a similar incident occurred was 30 years ago this week, when the Cubans shot down a light aircraft out of Miami with killing 4 people on board. It caused a huge diplomatic row and soured US-Cuban relations. 2 days ago, there were memorial services in South Florida for those 4 who died. It may just be a coincidence, but the next day this armed speedboat, alleged armed speedboat, turns up in Cuban waters, with speculation now that they may have been trying to create a similar incident.
Michael, I just wanted to talk to you about this oil crisis in Cuba. I know this is not the first fuel crisis that you'll have reported on, but how significant is this lifting of Venezuelan oil exports to some parts of Cuban society?
Well, this is the crunch part, isn't it? The US Treasury said it will issue some licenses to export Venezuelan oil to Cuba, but not to the Cuban military, the intelligence service, or government institutions. Now, all of the oil refineries and all of the electrical power plants are state-owned. So how this is going to work out in practice is very difficult to tell. Situation is dire. There's no doubt about this. Regular mass blackouts. It's affecting hospitals, schools, factories. There's no diesel. Petrol is limited to 20 litres each. And there's difficulty getting food in from the countryside to the towns. It is a serious situation. It looks as if the Americans are easing it somewhat. It takes place while Marco Rubio was attending a CARICOM summit of Caribbean leaders in St. Kitts. They're very angry about this embargo, and several of the keynote speeches there were saying that a destabilized Cuba will destabilize the whole region.